So this is going to be a recap of learning. Please do me a favor and write down 6x squared plus 13x minus 5 equals 0. We have a quadratic equation that we're solving. And in the video, I talked about multiple different ways that you can solve this. I'm going to come off to the side. I'm going to take the a times the c. 6 times negative 5 is negative 30. And I'm looking for two numbers that multiply to give us negative 30 and combine to give us a positive 13. So this is what my mind's thinking. 1 and 30 can't combine for 13. 2 and 50, 2 and 15 can combine to give us a 13. They have to be different signs. So it's either a negative 2 and a positive 13 or a positive 2 and a negative 15. Which combination combines to give us a positive 13 will be the first one. So I'm going to demonstrate very quickly two different ways in order for you to solve this quadratic equation by factoring. The first way is going to be the more traditional way that takes a little more time. And it looks like this. I'm going to drop down the a and I'm going to drop down the c. Now in this position, I'm going to take what I have, so the negative 2x and a positive 15x. And now I'm just going to factor by grouping. I can factor out at most an x and a 2. 2 times 3 is 6, but I need two x's, so 6x squared. 2 times negative 1 is negative 2, and I have an x. Whatever is here, I'm going to copy and paste over again. And now, if this is factorable, there's a hidden number here. What times 3x gives us a positive 15? That is a positive 5. 5 times 3x is positive 15, and 5 times negative 1 is negative 5. They both, the front and back, have a 3x minus 1. What's in front of the first group? 2x. What's in front of the second group? A positive 5. Now I'm going to set each group equal to 0, and I'm going to solve. This is one way. This is one way for you to solve this. Grab that calculator that's in front of you. Brianna, would you please grab me a calculator and bring it up? Thank you, Brianna. In the video, we talked about extraneous solutions. Now, what does an extraneous solution mean? It means you do all of the math, but it doesn't mean that these are the solutions. So I'm going to have at most two solutions. So please grab your calculator with me right now, and let's plug this in. Tutors, make sure you have a calculator on hand today. We have 6. Now we're going to substitute in a 1/3 square it, plus 13 times 1/3, and subtracting 5. I need this to equal 0. Did I plug something in wrong? I sure did. You can see how I forgot the parentheses. Let's try this again. I should have taken time to look before pressing enter. Okay, I believe that 1/3 is the answer. This has to equal 0 if it is. It does equal 0. I just verified this is the correct answer. You're going to see as we move through this unit that not all solutions that we find are actually going to work for us. Let's try one more. So you don't have to do the mental math here. Just make sure anytime you're substituting in those values that you're always going to be substituting those in with parentheses. Again, I'm looking up to make sure I plugged it in correctly. It equals 0 and we're good. This is called factoring by grouping, or the AC plus B method. I'm going to do the exact same problem again. As you can see, we already were selected our numbers of this being positive 13, negative 2, and positive 15. Now I'm going to use what's called the bottoms up method. I want you to write both methods down. What's bottoms up? Well, what we're going to start by doing is we've already selected our values, so x minus 2 and x plus 15 set equal to 0. This is the key. Most students forget about that leading coefficient. Whatever the leading coefficient is, we must always put underneath. Now, you have a calculator in your hands. I'm going to teach you a trick. Are you ready? Grab the calculator right now. I'm going to teach you a trick. How can you quickly reduce this if you don't do it in your mind? Everybody is going to go 2 divided by 6, and then I want you to hit the math key on the left-hand side. Hit the math key on the left-hand side. Math. We can see fractions there, and press enter, enter. Whatever you get will be your reduced fraction. Okay, let's try it one more time in case we have more complicated fractions in the future. 15 divided by 6, hit math. Fraction will always be first. We hit enter twice, and we can see it reduces down to 5/2. Okay, with the bottoms up method, why I like this is it's less work, but I can achieve the same answer. Now, if you remember from the video, we're going to circle the value and the sign in front. What's opposite of negative 1/3 is positive 1/3. What's opposite of positive 5/2 is negative 5/2. Those are our two solutions. I've already shown you how 1/3 and negative 5/2 do work for this particular. Students in class right now are going to solve this exact same quadratic equation, but they're going to use the quadratic formula. I already know what the answer is going to be, 1/3 and negative 5/2, but I'm demonstrating. So in this case, A is 6, B is 13, and C is -5. Now here's the quadratic formula, and you do have to memorize it. I've been told that there are crafty little songs that can help you memorize it. I always suggest to students they start by putting parentheses wherever they're going to drop in the values for A, C, and B. So I'm going to do that right now. I have 6 for A, so I'm looking where does A go? A goes in these two places. Oops, B is going to be 13. It goes in these two places. C is going to be -5. Now, I'm going to do this portion right here. I'm going to do this portion that's called the discriminant on a calculator. So I'm grabbing my calculator. And I end up with a value of 289. Now, if you watch the video and if you have a great memory, I discussed things that you already learned in Algebra 1-2, and that was anytime this discriminant, that's the value underneath the square root, is a positive number, it's greater than 2, we're going to have 2 answers. So let's do that right now. What is the square root of 289? I believe it's 17, but let's check. It is 17. I also spoke in the videos that this is a mathematician's way of doing the least amount of work. And so if this confuses you, what this means is one time you're going to add, and the next time you are going to subtract. And I'm just going to use a calculator to do this. Here we go. So I guess I can do mental math here. So those two, -13 and 17, combined to give us 4, and 4 over 12 reduces to 1/3. Hey, that's exactly what we had. -13 and -17 is a -30. Oh gosh, we got to reduce this. Let's see, 6 goes into 35 times, 6 goes into 12 too, and look, it's the exact same answers with all my work that I achieved using the factoring method. The big takeaway from the notes last night is most of us choose to use factoring, but factoring will not always work as a method to solve quadratic equations. Most of the time it will, but what will always work is going to be the quadratic formula.